Boy, it's been a busy day. And this, Atlanta, is what I was talking about. Make a splash. Make me feel good about my team moving forward. And the Falcons have done that with the addition of Jessie Bates. He is going to be one of our new safeties guys. He comes over from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a baller, guys, and they give him a legitimate deal that makes him, Mike, the fourth highest paid safety in NFL history, not the first. So I think this is a fair deal. $64 million, includes $23 million in year one, $36 in the first two. So, again, you're paying a lot of this money up front, and then it doesn't hurt us later down the road. And I know Mike and I were having this conversation. Listen, Falcon fans, I get it. You're wondering, how does this really help, okay? And Mike and I were talking about our safety situation right now with Richie Grant, and now you add Jessie Bates, who's played at a very high level. Mike, I like this move. I know it's not the trenches, but I think the way that they're going about this is, hey, look, we didn't go spend the most money on a defensive tackle. We went and got a guy that can really help us, but is affordable and makes sense. Right. We went and got another tight end to help us with our offense in the red zone. We went and took care of our own guy, and now you do this. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I mean, look, Richie Grant could slide hypothetically to nickel. You could argue he's interchangeable with Jalen Hawkins at both safety, the free and the strong safety position. Technically, Jalen Hawkins is strong safety, but for those who don't know, Bates is a free safety, and this is a guy who's he makes plays. He's made plays at Wake. Was a huge part of that defense for the Bengals. Now, the argument, I'll just give you the devil's advocate side of this. Some folks felt that with all the things we needed up front, this was a piece you had maybe next year. If
luxury?
Yeah, not a luxury necessarily, but you felt the old debate, do you build from the back or to the front? Well, this is a guy that can play and run support and obviously is good in the pass game. But and again, you could argue Richie Grant. Some would say, well, that mean did he blew it on Richie Grant in the second round? Well, Richie Grant is, he wasn't the plug-and-play guy I thought he was going to be out of Central Florida. He was a corner that played safety, but now maybe he plays more corner in the nickel, or he's just simply redundant. But either way, Jessie Bates is just an amazing talent and is a guy that earned that deal. And it is interesting how the Bengals now have to retool. That's a them problem. We've got some pieces. Now, I guess what's next? Maybe Rashaan Evans gets a deal that's not too flashy. And then one more big splash. I mean, look, I can't lie to you. I was going to save this for 5 of the Falcons. The Hargrave thing kind of left me a little crestfallen because when you consider what the 49ers paid for him, we could have done that here.
I agree with you. Mike, these things come down to choices, right? And when you talk about what we want as fans and what we think our team needs based on what we know about the team, and listen, we're your conduit. I say it all the time to these teams. When we talk to Terry Fontenot and we talk to Arthur Smith, we're talking for you guys. We're talking about what you guys talk to us about. And these choices that you make, our secondary need help. It does. This, by the way, let me tell you something. If you go get Christian Gonzalez at corner at 8.
Now you got one of the best secondaries with A.J. Terrell out there in the league.
Different team.
Right.
It's a different defense. So, again, that's how you have to think about this. This is one piece. We've got one in A.J. What are we going to do in the draft? That is still a very good possibility now that you feel like you've addressed some of these other things, specifically up front. And by the way, David Onyemata, I'm not putting all this pressure on him like he's the answer. But damn, Grady's wanted to play with somebody for the last few years, and they give him that. Our linebackers are not bad, guys. They're getting there. I mean, I like our linebacking core. Anderson and company.
Troy Anderson, I think, is going to be a star in this league. I think he will develop a lot faster than Foye Oluokun because honestly, he's actually quicker from side to side. He's more athletic.
But that's the puzzle that you have to kind of figure out. And Mike, if that plays out, I'm ecstatic draft night.
But again, I don't know what you're doing draft night. Are you going edge rush? Are we still going to try to find a tackle? Still got to replace Caleb McGarry. Now, Caleb McGarry still could be back here for like 60 cents on the dollar. You did give the big deal to Lindstrom. We'll give you more of the details on the financials at 5 o'clock in the Falcon Report. But I still wanted to get the best guys up front to take pressure off the back. Well, now, if you do go in the draft and go with the corner, okay, but where is that pass rush, consistent pass rush coming from? Is Onyemata going to be such a force multiplier that Lorenzo Carter and Ebiketie and D'Angelo Malone are going to reap the benefits of that? That's a big ask.
It is. I just have to believe, and this is what I want to believe. Now, they got to prove it to me.
And there's more pieces. By the way, guys, there's still more stuff to come.
Oh, yeah, but they got to prove it to me. But, Mike, I also think you just hope that as we continue here that these young guys, right, Ogundeji and Ebiketie, they're going to get better. Year one. Right. Like, you've got to believe that, as Chuck Smith always talked to us about, like the development sometimes for some guys is 1 year, sometimes it's 3 years. That's what you have to hope. It's not like our guys suck. They're just getting better. They're learning on the job, and they got to get better. Now, I will say this. 3 years from now, if we're still talking about Ebiketie having a sack, or if we're talking about Ogundeji not being that dude, then you know. But we're not there yet, and that's how I'm going to look at this. It's Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. If you're just joining us, big splash for the Falcons as they bring in safety Jessie Bates. Now, for many Falcon fans, you guys may have seen the video that was out there, right? Bates kicking it with Pitts and a couple other guys, and the video got out, and people were like, oh, he wants to be in Atlanta. You were right. He did want to be in Atlanta, and that's why I think this deal became a lot easier. They're still paying him a lot of money, Mike. He's getting market value, but it is true that, hey, he was hanging out with our guys, and there were lots of rumors out there about him wanting to be here. You were right. He did, and that's why he signed here.
So now we wait and see where the other pieces go. Now,
and the deals, by the way, won't become official till Wednesday. But it's going to be. I'm sorry.
And again, the fourth highest paid safety in NFL history. Lindstrom reset the market for guard. And now you want to go get, if you want to go get a free agent, a wide receiver. I mean, you want to go, some guys want Adam Thielen. Okay. I mean, the idea by bringing in, Jono Smith is a guy that helps allow you to do more things we talked about with Brian McFadden with Kyle Pitts. All over the field, mismatches, etc. I mean, you always want to have better tight end play in an Arthur Smith offense. This guy couldn't do anything in New England. There's a lot of guys who couldn't do anything in that offense in New England, especially last year. 11 touchdowns in 2 years in the last year in Tennessee, then 1 touchdown in 2 years in New England. Better fit, obviously, with Arthur Smith coming here.
Okay, coming up, we're going to talk about what Terry Fontenot is doing today. He gets an A from me. Right now, day one, where we finally had some stinking money to play with, he's getting an A. But we're going to talk about it because a lot of people were wondering, and listen, one day doesn't make you a champion and certainly doesn't make you the GM of the year. But how he's going about this, guys, this is a win-win. This is like if you're not a Falcon fan going, okay, I see the progression here. I see where we're trying to go. Arthur Smith got a couple of things that he wanted. And I think, on the defensive side, Ryan Nielsen got a couple of things he wanted. And now how do we approach the draft? If we hit the draft and we hit the lottery, we get 3 or 4 guys, Mike, that can play. It's a different world.
Where's the pass rush right now?
That's the thing. It's coming.
I just like to know. I just thought we'd get concrete, better pass rush in the first 48 hours. That's why, again, I'm not. I like
you're disappointed.
I am Hargrave because Hargrave signed for peanuts with the 49ers when I was. Some people thought he was going to be north of $75 to $80 million, and it's not even close to what he signed for in San Francisco. And he's the best defensive tackle, pound for pound. Money goodbye. And we went with the guys go with what they know. And Onyemata is a solid piece, and he will definitely help Grady. You touched on it earlier. But I'm still disappointed, if I'm honest, that I didn't get Hargrave. I thought that was a really nice piece for us. And I know 30, the age, maybe the age thing was a factor. Consider where we are.
You're disappointed.
Well, Lorenzo Carter, is Onyemata going to make Lorenzo Carter Lawrence Taylor? We're going to sign Rashaan Evans. I'm pretty much going back to work with the same defense. But now as opposed to having nobodies back there when there's no passers, now it'll be Jessie Bates running around trying to cover everybody when there's no pass rush. That's my concern right now.
You're disappointed.
I'm throwing cold water on this. Here, step up. Whack. There's some cold water. Give me a wet towel. Whoosh. I just threw it on you.
It's going to be good.
It's early days.
It's going to be good.
And I just posted a meme of Macho Man going, hey, everybody relax. But I got to be honest now. Now that I heard you talking more about this, where's the beef with the pass rush?
I just told you guys. We're going to talk more about it. Falcon Report's on the way. We'll run down what the Falcons have done today. They have been active. I'm so happy you guys made a splash up there, Flowery Branch. Maybe, Mike, they are listening to this show.
I guess so. Mike wanted Hargrave.
It's Dukes and Bell.